I'd like to say Mazal Tov to Israel and Esther, they send Shachar to make Aliyah to Eretz Israel. Mazal Tov לניסן על הילדים, שיהיה להם נחת רוח ממנו, אנחנו יודעים את השם. ושיהיה בשורות טובות את השם.
וגם אולי נשמע את עופרה בת דינה.
עופרה בת דינה.
חנן בן שולמית.
חנן בן שולמית. כל הנבחרים עוד השם. One of the beautiful aspects of our parasha is to see how Avraham Avinu is able to bring inside his house the children of his main opponents. The right hand of Abraham was Eliezer, and say Eliezer was Nimrod's son. Nimrod, the one who wanted to kill Abraham and to burn Abraham. Somehow the child say, I don't agree with my father, and join Avraham Avinu. Another important student of Sarah was the big Paro king daughter, Hagar, or Hajar they call her. And Hagar, she said, I'm rather to be a maid in Abraham's house than a princess in my father's palace, which is very impressive. But in our parasha there is a certain complication, and I would like to tonight to deal with this with you, and we'll go to a few directions, and until we get tired, or we're going to be because it's very deep issues and very sensitive, and you're going to see that what I will try to say, it's not what the rabbis that we know them say, and it's an interesting point. It doesn't mean who is right, who is wrong, it's just a matter of a different view. We talk about Sarah, that at a very late age, she wants to make a very interesting experience. She wants to give her maid to Abraham. It means, in this case, Hagar has to get married to Abraham. And, Be'ezrat Hashem, she hopes to have children too. And Sarah comes to Hagar and tells her, my dear students, my dear friend, I want you to be a wife of Abraham. The first reaction of Hagar was, I'm embarrassed, I cannot. He is your husband, he is my teacher, I am over here a maid. I don't want. She's very nice, very noble. Look like the same Adam Shvanda. אומר רש"י, ותיקח שרי לקחתה בדברים. מה זה לקחתה בדברים? In Russian it's ugavar. We have to convince her, Allah kardan. You're talking to her, you say, and she say no, and she say no, you have to, and this. And what is the point that Sarah is able to convince Hagar? She is telling her, אשרייך שזכית להידבק בגוף קדוש שכזה. He said, you know, you're not just getting married to a simple person. He's such a big man. He's such a holy man. You're going to be connected to the Holy of the Holiest. And as a religious person, what you can ask more than this? Which is beautiful. נכון? Yes. And then, Avraham Avinu is getting married to Hagar, and in the first night, Hagar became pregnant. You have to understand, in the house of Abraham, the whole idea of children is a very painful thing. Sarah is waiting and is praying, and Abraham is praying, and years and years and years and years, and you know, שלא נעמוד בניסיון, it's a very tough experience, you know, no children or not. And then Hagar, she's getting married. After the first night, after a few months, she said to Sarah, I have the good news, I am pregnant. Now, as women, what should be Sarah's reaction? She's very happy for her. She's so proud of her. She says, Hashem tzaddik. You as I believe not you. Man, in our generation we say, the first reaction will be, what's going on over here? Nachon?
But she was in the beginning. She said, this is God's will, for now.
So see what the... so it says over here, and Sarah told to Abraham, I am very upset with you.
So she was convincing her.
What are you asking me now? Abraham tell her, what am I to do with everything? I gave you Shifcha, I gave you my maid, and she is pregnant now. God should be the judge between us. You ask yourself, what she say to Abraham?
What's to catch?
You get my question?
Yes.
And the next pasuk, Abraham tell her, do whatever you want. It was your decision. עשי מה שאת רוצה. כך תוכל שתקי דירות. And then it says the Torah, ותענה שרי ותירא מפניה, and Sarai abused Hagar, and Hagar had to run away from the house.
Why?
Huh?
Why? If she was the one that put Hagar there, why she's upset?
And she didn't want it.
So wait a minute. So the Ramban says the following. This I tell you what the Ramban says, and I would like to discuss it with you. The Ramban says, Chat'a Sarah imenu. Very straight to the point. Sarah made a big sin, committed a big sin. וגם אברהם, and Abraham too. They made a big sin. בהניחו לעשות כן. When he let Sarah to abuse Hagar. ושמע השם אלוניה, and Hashem heard the prayers of Hagar. And listen what he says over here. ונתן לה child שיהיה פרא אדם. And because Abraham and Sarah were not nice to Hagar, he got a permission to abuse the children of Abraham and Sarah בכל מיני עינויים, in all kind of tortures.
Wow, we're living it today.
According to the Ramban, it was a sin. Therefore, we suffer today until now from all these ISIS and all this kind of thing. Straight, the Ramban doesn't make no short, just to the point. לא, הוא אומר שהתחתנו, הוא אומר.
לא, אברהם אבינו היה במצרים, הוא היה נגד זה. אבל פה, אתה אומר להתחתן איתה, הוא לא מדבר על זה?
There was no objection, I didn't say objection.
Could have obvious something else. She was belittling her mistress.
So let's go slowly.
She was...
Now, the Gemara says that the Torah brings the other side of the story. אומרים, ותקל שרה, ותראה כי הרתה, ותקל פרתה בעיניה. Which means, and Hagar saw that she became pregnant, and not Sarah, and she started to disrespect Sarah. Listen what the Midrash says, Rashi brings it. Hagar says, this Sarai, the big tzaddiket, apparently she is not as she shows herself. אין סתרה כגילויה. מה אומרת הגר? אומרת, she behaved like she's a big tzaddiket and a big this, but I don't think so. מראה עצמה כאילו היא צדקת ואינה צדקת. עוד פעם, מה אומרת במדרש? בוא אומרת הגר to שרה. I thought that she is a big tzaddik, she is a big right, she's right. But apparently there is a lot of games over here. It's not a real game. למה? שלא זכתה להיריון כל השנים. With all her prayers and tzidkut, she never got pregnant. לא עלינו. ואני נתעברתי מביאה ראשונה. And the first night I was pregnant, she became pregnant.
Since when she became a Jan?
Huh?
Since when she became a Jan?
Like all of us.
השאלה לא זה, השאלה לא זה.
Huh? I'm asking you a question. What the Midrash says? What is the reason that מה זה נקרא that Hagar didn't respect Sarah? She started to be judgmental. Why it's so difficult to be judgmental? Now, on the facts, is she right or is she wrong?
She's wrong.
Huh?
She's wrong.
Facts,
Right.
not facts. Facts, she's right.
She's wrong.
נכון? So why is so wrong?
She doesn't see the whole picture. How can
What?
you do that? She doesn't see the whole picture. She does know everything.
Very good. So we see from here, I don't think that, I think that the Ramban is a big mekubal, but I think over here the explanation should be a bit different. And we have to know why Abraham and Sarah did not commit a sin and they made a mitzvah. You're going to see in your life, Baruch Hashem, all of you, I know most of you, you're Baruch Hashem, you've grown up to Judaism, and you're from religious background, a lot of you, and for many years you're growing up slowly, and you're going to see that sometimes somebody you start to feel a certain feel of religion,
Right.
you start to feel of Chozer B'Teshuvah, you start to feel a certain spirituality, but you see that he is not balanced. You see that it's just a matter of excitement, but not more than this.
Right.
Huh? No, he started to say, this rabbi is not good, this is good, and they start to be, and himself just, with just 5 months that he started to put feeling. But he has a whole list about all the Satmir, Lubavitch, this rabbi, that he has a whole, who is good, who is bad, and you say, wait a minute, it's, I say once, as a side issue about it, that the first test of Avraham Avinu was to be thrown to the fire. They say it was the least one. And they say the most important one is about Yitzchak. So I say for me, somebody to kill himself is difficult to kill other people. To kill other people you can find a lot of justification. Especially today. Ask ISIS, they will tell you all kind of explanation why kill people in the name of Hashem. But to be burned himself, it's more difficult. But I say maybe the answer is that at the beginning, when you have the excitement, it's no problem to throw to the fire. It's more the לא ניסיון, it's excitement. בהתחלה, you see all the spark and the crackles and you feel so high. זה לא ניסיון. ניסיון when you're settled, when you're everything, then when the test's coming, then it's a ניסיון. But this is a side issue. So I see very clear that Sarah is telling to Abraham, Agar, she really means good. She talks about Hashem, she left her father's palace. But inside, she doesn't think religiously. She's prejudgmental, she's opinionated. She say, with this, I was good, she is bad. It's not religious anymore. So Sarah is telling to Abraham, I don't believe that her and her child and everybody, I don't believe it's a good influence because she doesn't think religiously.
So for what reason in the first place she proved her that she was not from a good background? What right gave Sarah to give her mate or husband?
As we say, when you become with somebody in-laws, you start to understand him more. Before, הכל זה מדור ג'ון. After this, you start to see, him to deal with. or you become a partner in a business. בבית כנסת כולם נראים מלאכים. So Sarah is telling to Abraham, Agar, she had a very good impression, but apparently she's not there yet. You get me? And therefore, Sarah is telling to Abraham, she didn't have a child yet and she's losing control. And she's judging already. I am more religious, you're less religious than me. So this is not a good environment already. She has to...
What about the reaction of Sarah? So today's suffering that we're having is because she was too harsh with the...
This the Ramban says. I believe it's a different reason. I believe it's hard, but I think that Sarah and Abraham, because when they're asking Kadosh Baruch Hu tell her whatever Sarah is saying, that Hashem is involved in this too.
כי משמול בלינו.
No, the idea is that, so the question is, where was the mistake of Hagar?
She started judging.
Huh?
She started judging.
Yeah, but fact-wise, she has a good point.
It's not such
Her gava, when she got pregnant, and she said Sarah is not that righteous.
lack of sensitivity,
That's
lack
her.
of midot.
Can we expect something from her today? This is the better question.
She was
She's not the...
She was student of Sarah.
What can you
She
expect?
got the full
Logically, she's saying she's such a kid.
Didn't we all think the same? I don't think she's so far off.
Cannot say it openly, you have to sing it inside. Officially, we say that you cannot be opinionated, not judgmental, and we don't like when people are doing it. It's officially, at least there's something to strive for. But inside of ourselves, last week I'm sitting with people all week and ask the Rabbi, where is justice? Where is Hashem? Where is this? And all this question and question and question and question. And logically it makes sense, their question. But religiously it's a problem. Why is it a problem? So let's leave this question on, and let's go to another part of our parasha. And they are going to be very suddenly from nowhere. We're talking about Abraham, Itzhak, Yaakov, Sarah. Suddenly the Torah leaves everything and talks about World War I. 4 kings fighting against 5 kings. And you ask yourself, with all the respect, why would I care about Amrafel Melech Shin'ar, and Arioch Melech Elasar, and Yankele and Moishele? Bella. Not Bella. So we're trying to say because Lot looked like Abraham, so we link it to Abraham. I think over here there is a connection. It's a Kabbalistic one, and I tell you the midrash that I would like to concentrate over here, and then we'll go forward. It says that these 4 kings and the 5 kings met in a place that it's called Vayavohu el En Mishpat Ikadesh. This is what they say. And they come to a place called En Mishpat Ikadesh. So a name of location. See Rashi, what he says, En Midbar Ikadesh. And don't think I'm just making up, this is what Rashi said. על שם העתיד שעתידים משה ואהרון להישפט שם על מי מריבה. We're talking about the place that in the future Moshe and Aaron are going to not speak to the rock and hit the rock and be punished al mei meriba. I want to ask you, what's the connection between 4 kings against 5 kings? איפה משה, איפה אהרון, איפה מי מריבה, איפה הסטיק, איפה ה...
When Abraham came to Israel, he was going from place to place. Why? Whatever happened to our fathers happens to children. So as a our father, he tried to fix as much as he can.
100%.
Otherwise, there was no reason for him to go to
Abraham
Mitzrayim.
wasn't there.
Huh?
But this is the problem. Abraham wasn't there.
No, but Abraham had to go down. What story is it?
No, this was the fight.
And Abraham had to come and fight?
No. Then they left, then he went after them to Damascus, to Syria. Abraham was never there. They say a location. They met in Moshe Center. Well, now why Moshe? Because Moshe and Aaron, they spoke to the world, they didn't hear the world. They said, wait a minute, what is the connection between Abraham, Moshe and Aaron, and these 4 and 5 kings? It's looking very vague.
Negative.
Huh?
It's a negative. There was a fight, this was a fight.
The place
You
itself.
can say everything about everything. I mean, to fight is a very good. I mean, everybody is fighting, Baruch Hashem.
Maybe because of Erev Rav,
Wow,
future Erev Rav,
you can add everything.
the bitter words.
You can even add IRS over here if you want. But the question is, what is the connection?
Influence.
I tell you what the Ramban says on this Rashi. עיין לשון רש"י מדברי אגדה ולא הבינותי. The Ramban says, I don't understand, with all the respect, what is 4 kings and 5 kings and Moshe and Aaron and the rock and the stick and the water and Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael. It's mean, even association, you have to go to a certain logic to go from here to there.
The only thing that I can think of right now is that even as Am Yisrael left Mitzrayim, we still had this servant mentality. And we still fighting with Moshe and Aaron. And whereas Hagar, even though she was a princess, she still had a certain arrogance about her. So it has to go, it's like almost like you can remove yourself from an environment, but you got to remove the environment from your heart.
Very nice. So Tali start to talk about one other direction. I have to change it a bit, but I like it. Interesting. I believe over here, first of all, I ask you a question. What is this kings 4 and 5 that are doing? Why Abraham has to fight with them? And why were all this? What is the story over here? What is the significance
Because
of
of
the
Lot.
story? Huh?
Lot, because he associated himself with them, and Abraham had to defend his family. And
So you're looking for a family point of view. Let's go from a very wide point of view.
It was a business.
Business.
Stone was the main power of capital of the world. Why they have to come from very far away to Sdom? What is it? It was the main business.
So you're talking about political things and financial things. I try to go to more spiritual things, which is you're right. Eventually, it comes to dollar and cents. Eventually. Rabotai, the idea of 4 and 5 is a very deep Kabbalistically meaning, and I would like to share it with you. I told you there are 4 cups that we drink on Pesach, but there is the 5th cups of this, the one who doesn't come to Leil Seder. So it's come to Eliyahu Navi, it's come to give it to him. There is the 4 boys, the 4 banim in Leil Seder, and the 5th one who doesn't come to Leil Seder altogether. There is 4 Rashi Shanim in the Gemara Masechet Rosh Hashanah, but there are really 5 Rashi Shanim, because Tu B'Shvat is Aleph B'Shvat and Tu B'Shvat, it's become 5. Whenever there is 4 and there is a 5, there is a certain understanding of how the world is built. As you know, when Hashem created the evil on Friday, it says, Hayar Hashem et kol asher asa v'hineh tov me'od. Omer HaMidrash, Hashem created the evil, the Yetzer Hara. When you say tov me'od. Why when you say tov me'od? Because, as you know, when God created the world, He created 4 main worlds. It's called, in the Kabbalah, Tzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah. We are part of Olam HaAsiyah, the 4th world. But all 4 worlds are working under the leadership of Hashem, and angels do not have the power of choice. In this world, we have to create a power of choice. In order to create a power of choice, I have to create good and evil. You solve. in Judaism, good and evil is coming from Hashem too, because there's no other source of energy. But the evil, it's not a real world. It's illusionary world.
Looks so real.
But it looks so real. And this is when we have to go to these tests. I'm just going to answer you just what I try to tell you, just to make it more close, not so vague. Hagar and Sarah, they're representing two different worlds. There is a real world and an imaginary world, a very physical world. And Hagar doesn't understand that this illusionary world is a part of being tested. Somebody came to me yesterday and he asked me a question. He says that he is working as a barber and he doesn't work on Yom Shabbat. Therefore, on the paper in the last year, he lost half of his business. So, according to his eyes and to his calculation, being Shomer Shabbat, he's losing money. And he proves it to you. And he asks you, how should he feel, understand, when he hardly can pay his rent and mortgage, and his friend who doesn't keep Shabbat, he just bought a new car and he bought a new house and he go to vacation. And he asks a question, how to understand it. Good question. Let's go about this question from so Hagar Hashem is testing Hagar. He tells to Hagar, you're going to get pregnant in the first night. But I want you to understand, not because Sarah is not righteous than you or not this, because this is your tikkun. And what did she do, Hagar? She used it against Sarah and against herself eventually. So the Chet Chatat, as the Ramban says, according over here, it's to get a different aspect over here. Now, this imaginary world, I go to the extreme to explain why it's so dangerous. Tomorrow, if nothing will happen, or something will happen, at 2 o'clock there is a young family, a young couple that they want to come to divorce tomorrow. And I'm working on this family for the last year. The lady, she puts in her mind that her husband is cheating on her. She has no facts, she has no proofs, but whenever I talk to her, she goes again and again to imaginary part, and they say he's not honest, he's not honest, he's just doing nicely, he's lying to you, he's lying to everybody. And I try to help her all the time. I try to help her and tell her, don't go to this imaginary part of you. But at a certain point, her imagination became a reality.
Of course, that's the energy she's bringing in.
And this is what we call the fifth world. This is so dangerous. Because the fifth world is, which is imaginary, it gives you a certain feeling of power. It can be children, it can be money, it can be real estate, it can be power or whatever. But because it's an imaginary thing, it's very deceiving, and most of us are going to fail in this. I believe that they put the idea of Moshe and Aaron over there because it's the same mistake. What was the mistake? I will not talk to the wall, I'm going to hit. We're going, the imaginary and the real, and today is when they get mixed, Aaron failed, Moshe Rabbeinu failed over there. And, but Aaron and Moshe is very, very sensitive, very, very small thing, because as you know, once I told it to you, there is 13 Ikarim, principle of Judaism, that you have to believe. What is the first tongue? You have to believe there is a Shem. Does Moshe Rabbeinu has to believe or he speaks to him?
He knows.
He knows. You have to believe there is heaven.
He was there.
He was there. He believes that the Torah Moshe Rabbeinu brought. He knows it. He believes, so whatever there is over here, whatever we have to believe,
He knows.
Moshe Rabbeinu knows. So what is Moshe Rabbeinu test in this world?
Not to forget.
Huh?
Not to forget.
No, I tell you more than this. Hashem is telling him, you will do things that didn't tell you. And I will judge you if you are right or wrong. Listen. Moshe Rabbeinu is taking the luchot and he breaks them. What Hashem is telling him? 1-0. אומרת הגמרא בספר שבת, 3 things Moshe Rabbeinu was adding from his own mind, and Hashem agreed with him. נכון? How can you add something from your own mind? Why do you say this kind of decision? This is Moshe Rabbeinu test. And when he spoke to when he hit the rock, it was a mistake. Again, the imaginary world and the real world are going to be in our world mixed together. And all last week, Baruch Hashem, I had maybe 50 people spoke to me over the phone and came to speak to me with one question. Hashem, where is justice? Rabbi, where is justice? It's not right. There is deliverance. Where is the truth? זה לא צודק, זה לא טוב, זה לא נכון, אני עושה הכל, אני עושה זה. On Thursday night, I finished the show, I come to back, somebody waiting for me in my office, and he's crying, אמרתי, אתה עושה תיקון חצות? אמרתי, אין תיקון חצות, אמרתי לו, שנה שמיטה. הוא אומר לי, no, I'm crying. Why Hashem is doing this to me? Why did I do so much wrong? All my friends are successful. I am suffering, and he started the whole מי שברך אבותינו, אברהם יצחק ויעקב, about himself. And on Friday morning on the phone, the same way, I don't want, whatever I do doesn't work, and complaining. I said, oh, this will need a parasha of the... Hagar make this mistake. Hagar says, I am tzaddiket, she is not tzaddiket. Who told this is the reason? How do you, with your small brain, make a judgment for all the entire humanity? As I believe when they say about over here, they met in En Mishpati Kadesh, this is the point. This is the point that this 4 will become 5. We have to get rid of this 5th. We have to say, Ribono Shel Olam, and our parasha is so full with this. Just name it. In our today parasha we read, Hashem is telling to Sarah, next year you have a baby boy. And Sarah כתוב בת יצחק, she's very happy. But it's happy with excitement. אומר Hashem to Abraham, why is she so excited? It's not so clear. So I say, what's clear? You know, what's clear? She's 19 years old, what's so clear? She was pregnant for the age of 12, nothing happened. And you tell her next time, Hashem is telling to Moshe, to Abraham, I don't understand. I told her it's going to happen. He said, it's very easy to say it, but you know, to accept it after 78 years, and Hashem telling to Abraham that it shouldn't be like this, and right. Because if a person is really have these 4 worlds and not 5, so everything can be happen, and it happened tomorrow, and it happened yesterday, but Hashem has to want it to happen. And this is the test, the emunah that you have to go through. Sometimes, in a very childish way, we think that to be religious is to have life insurance.
To have what?
Life insurance. I'm going to keep Shabbat, I'm going to get this, I'm going to say Shalom, I'm going to get $100 to my pocket. We are playing like give and take. But we see that life, Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, the pillars of Judaism, see how many tests they have to go through. How many things they have to go through. But the beauty that they were Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. They say, this Hashem wants, finish, next, finish. And this is something which with the Emunah. And I would like to, this is one direction. I would like to go to another direction, is that Sarah and Abraham, as opposed to what the Ramban says, are thinking what is the best environment to raise Yitzchak with. Because when Ishmael came back, he had a very big influence on Yitzchak, as our Torah says. Metzachek, talking to him, teach him all kind of things, show him iPhone, internet, access to all kind of websites.
How did he learn all of this?
Huh?
How did he learn all of this?
So Sarai and Abraham decided to separate. Try to isolate as much as you can. And this concept continues when it's become more complicated, when Rivka, she had twins, and one has to be chosen. She chose Yaakov, and Yitzchak chose Esau, and they're arguing all the time. And when she is pregnant, she's going to her grandfather, to Ever, and she asked him, and he told her that two nations are going to separate from you, and she said to Yaakov, Iparedu. The grandfather said to split. In our parasha Sefer Netu, Abraham said to Lot, Johnny Amakash, split, let's split. And it's a whole thing, and it continue more, and the thing about the children is it goes more. And even when the brothers of Yosef, the reason that they want to sell him to Egypt, because they believe that he's the rotten apple in the family, and they bring Hashem to agree to them. Huh? This is the way they learn. It's a whole line like this. It's all line. We have to. If somebody doesn't belong to us, let's split. Let's separate. Don't because all this interaction is very dangerous. I don't know eventually when it has to end.